Hey guys, so I'm making another video, and this one's theme is, yes, you guessed it, New Year's. So happy New Year's, guys, and I hope you guys are having a fabulous time, whatever you're doing, having a party, hanging out with friends, or like me, just chilling. I'm just hanging out at home, and watching the ball drop, and probably eating some dessert. Boring, I know. Those are some fireworks that our neighbors are setting off. Yeah, so I just got home from being at my boyfriend's house. We watched Bridesmaids and we just hung out. And yeah, so it's been a fairly okay New Year's. It's kind of been a dramatic day, to say the least, but I'm just happy that I'm home and it's nice. Yeah. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic time. And here we go. Basically, my topic is resolutions and change. My idea is that, I see all these people posting on Facebook and they're talking about how, oh, why do people think that they're going to completely change for the new year? That's true. It's true that it's unrealistic to think that just because it's January 1st that you are going to be completely different. That's odd, and it is weird how people suddenly just expect that to happen. But, there's no reason that changing your calendar and sort of cleaning out all your stuff and starting a new quarter of school and sort of feeling like you have that fresh start can't inspire you to be different and to make some small changes in your life and sort of work at it. I think what people need to realize is that it's not going to all happen at once. You're not going to, wake up and everything's going to be different. You've got to stick to it. You're not going to lose 50 pounds. You've got to diet and exercise. You're not going to be able to have, the position you want at work right away. You're going to have to stick it out, work hard. It's still your life, but it's just sort of inspiring you to make those changes. So it can be a time of change. You just gotta decide. And the great thing is that it can always happen. You can happen at any time of the year that you can make this change and have these feelings. And it's, that's kind of comforting. It's not about the calendar changing, it's about you and what you decide in your life needs to change. I have a lot of things in my life that sometimes I wish would change, and at this point that I have no control over. I have a lot of family drama, a lot of things at home that I wish were different. But, there comes a point where you have to realize what you can control is you. Sitting around crying, wishing things were different, that's not going to help. You've got to do everything in your power to make your situation better. And for me, I realized that people in my family being negative, not coming to terms with things, not dealing with things, and having that in my household, yeah, that's tough. But what I can do is do well in school and get myself organized and clean my room for one, and just sort of really just take it in my hands and to have a good attitude about things. And that's really all you can do. When life is throwing you curves, you've got to have a good attitude, and that's what gets you through. That's really what makes things worthwhile. And I've always been a little bit of an odd person in the way that I get upset of weird things. I've had an odd past where you know, I get really worried and caught up in problems, and, you know, I've had like a lot of really traumatic things happen in my life, where I felt very neglected and hurt and sad, and, you know, little things like, there was so much turmoil going on in my family that I wasn't able to go to the dentist, and it would really scare me, and to the point where I would freak out that I didn't have braces, and that I would be upset that I wasn't going to the doctor's office. I mean, what kid does that? So I've always been kind of a weird kid who sort of really just, I really I try to appreciate things and realize that, hey, this might be unpleasant, but, you know, at least I'm getting it. And I still struggle with those things, and, you know, I've had to sort of fight for myself a lot of the point. Like, I do a lot of things for myself right now. Whoop. But it's just, you've got to realize there's people who are having a lot of difficulties, and what you can do for you is put yourself first, put the people you love first, and love them, and be a good person, and just decide, like, really what's right for you. I, at this point, like, I would freak out that I would feel like, oh, I'm such a goody-goody. No one, like, you know, I've never done anything outrageous, or I've never drank, I've never smoked, I've never done this or that. And I just realized, you know, like, that would put a lot of people I cared about through a lot. And you have to realize that the decisions you make do affect other people. They really do. And that, you know, if you start concentrating on the wrong kinds of things, you're letting a lot of people down. And I'm not saying that, you know, I don't respect the way people live their lives, but for me, it wouldn't be a good decision, and it would hurt a lot of people. And I mean, you've got to think, your decisions contribute everything to your happiness. You can choose to be happy. If somebody, you know, gives you something, you can choose to be happy with it, or you can choose to sit there and ask, why didn't I get more? And, you know, that's really up to you. Sometimes you can't deal with the cards you're dealt. Sometimes I'll have a really crappy day, and I'll just let it totally bring me down. And then I'll just be like, well, at least I'm coming home to a warm bed. At least I have food in my stomach. And, you know, that doesn't mean you don't have problems. But if you just sort of focus on those things that you do have, that's the only way you're really going to get through. Sorry, I'm touching my hair so much. This hair's bothering me. Okay. That's the only way you're going to get through it. I mean, like, there's just such a long list of things that I could complain about, and often do. I mean, like, I'm pissed that I don't have my license. I am annoyed that I always have to get rides from other people. I'm, like, annoyed that I don't have a job, you know, because I need money for this and that. But, like, really, I've got it pretty good. And you probably do too. So just think about it. It's completely in your hands whether or not you have a good new year. I mean, yeah, some things are going to happen out of your control, so I take that back. But you really can decide what you're going to do with what you have. Whoop. You can really decide that. And, you know, you might look a little bit further into your life and realize you're a little bit more blessed than you think you thought you were. And, you know, I love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic new year and make great decisions and do awesome things. And Cool. Have a great new year. Bye.